Mo Salah. Can he finish things off here? He can. It is 2-0.
Well, guys, we are back. We go again. Magic of the cup. Unfortunate for some, unfortunate for others. But yeah, we move. We'll be dissecting shock defeats for Newcastle and Arsenal, unfortunately, at the weekend. All the latest transfer news in the Premier League and a look ahead to the London derby and Manchester City Chelsea. But yeah, to do that, we've got a full panel. Look at it. 4 of us. Oh, Lee's gone. What an absolute mare. What an absolute mare. But yeah, Lee's going to be back with us, I think. And yeah, we're gonna get into the Premier League, talk transfers, and try and talk about the Arsenal game. I don't know how that's going to go down, but yeah, Lee's back with us. Anyway, boys, how are we all doing? Chris, I'll go to you first. How you doing? You okay?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. Getting back into the flow of things, but you know, football's keeping us going, isn't it? And for me personally, European football's back, so it feels like the winter break is never happened.
Yeah. Fair play. Lee, how's things, mate? Good to have you back on with us. You're right.
Mate. Yeah. For some reason, the screens went back. Yeah, I'm good.
Good stuff. And Miller, it's been a while, my friend. It's good to have you. I know you're obviously isolating at the moment, which is the one benefit of it is we've got you on board. You're back in. But yeah, how you feeling? You're right.
Yeah, I've been better, boys, but you know, it just comes and goes. But I haven't really got an excuse not to be here anymore, have I? So, hello.
You literally haven't. You literally have no excuse whatsoever. But yeah, you know, I suppose we'll start with the FA Cup because I don't want to talk about it too long. And I know, Miller, you obviously don't. Lee, you're in a different ball game. You know, your game went on. I don't know why, because your game couldn't go on against us, but we move. That's the situation it is. Whatever happened there.
False positives, isn't it?
Yeah, false positives, whatever that bloody means. But
yeah, but why isn't there an inquiry to that as well?
I don't want to get too much into this because it's just going to anger me. And we'll sit here till the cows come home. The Arsenal fans think it's wrong. The Liverpool fans are going to say, look, get over it. But Miller, let's talk about this one, mate. We're out. we're bloody out. What was your thoughts on Sunday afternoon? I mean, I generally can't even believe we're discussing this sort of thing. But third round, you know, we're not even the holders anymore, Leicester are, so at least we can't say that. But we're known for being good in this competition. 2 years running now, we've gone out at an early stage. Last year, okay, it was to Southampton. You can have ifs and maybes about it, but Nottingham Forest. Tell me your thoughts, Miller.
I don't think there's any excuses for it, really. Let's be honest. I feel like if you disrespect that cup with the selection that Arteta put out, don't get me wrong, there was enough there to beat Nottingham Forest. So I'm not putting any excuses out there at all. But we got what we deserved. You know, no shots on target, no fight, no spirit. There's nothing. There was absolutely nothing there to sing home about. The thing is, I think we all saw it coming as well. You know, the first 5-10 minutes we didn't seem up for it. And how there's so many players there. I don't want to start a massive run, but the likes of Holding, Cedric, all that lot. It's fucking. We're chasing a goal, and he brings on Kolasinac. That just says it all for me. That just honestly, and I feel like there needs to be more accountability, especially on Arteta, because let's be real. This is the cup that made him. You know, he won that FA Cup. So why is it all of a sudden gone full circle and now starting to disrespect it? I don't know. Maybe you guys will have some more different thoughts on it, but I just feel that we deserve everything we get with that.
I think you're right. Going to Lee, mate, just from an outside point of view, obviously, I know you're going to sort of have a bit of a... We were moaning this and that about the postponement. We didn't even play that game, so we had more rest. And then we go and lose to this lot. But yeah, Lee, what's your take on where do you think it went wrong for Arsenal?
It's just the magic of the FA Cup, mate. It can happen. It's just what the FA Cup's all about, giant killings. Yeah, it was a surprise. Wasn't expecting it. I thought you definitely had the selection that was out more than enough to beat Forest. Just one of those things, I suppose. Players didn't turn up. The wrong tactics, maybe. Don't know. Players weren't there. Didn't put it in, did they?
I mean, in terms of Arteta was wrong. In terms of Arteta as well,
it was one before it kicked off.
I agree. Arteta, you know, I'll hold my hand up. I think Arteta did have a part to play in it, but this is my problem, right? With some of this fan base, we lose a game, and all you see is Arteta out this, Arteta out that, Arteta out this, Arteta out that, and then when we're winning, it's all quiet. You know, the ship's going, but no one
But
speaks about the players.
that's not just your fan base though. I think that's just football in general.
That's football, but no one talks about the players. The way I see it, the players have more blood on their hands than Arteta for that performance. Because no matter what he did, no matter who he brought on, okay, Coutinho when we win, when we're losing, is suicide. I get it, but they're all good enough to win the game. And for me, I think bar Leno, I think Leno saved us an even more pathetic embarrassment. I think there was no one on that field that really gave it their all. And in a competition like FA Cup, you've got to, especially when you're against Forest. And if they're going to play like that in the FA Cup, what are they going to do in the semi-final on Thursday when we've got the big fish in the pond that is Liverpool? I don't know. But yeah, Chris, let's get a little quick take from you on Arsenal getting out of there. What do you think this would do to their confidence?
I think firstly, respect to you guys, because I think the FA Cup is becoming quite divisive across Premier League teams now. For the little teams like Cambridge, you know, fantastic result for Kidderminster. It makes their seasons. You know, it's their memories. You know, we were all local to when Stevenage beat Newcastle, and you know, I remember that day like it was yesterday. Like it was such an incredible moment in the adulation. But for Premier League teams, it's divisive. You know, you guys you see the FA Cup as a competition Arsenal could win. Whereas on the flip side, there's probably Arsenal fans out there who are relieved to be out of it because you can focus on top four and focus on the league, even though there's only a handful of games in the FA Cup. So
yeah,
it's a shame we're at this situation now in modern football where the FA Cup is disregarded by high teams, or some fans are high teams. You know, back in even the 90s and the noughties, when the FA Cup was a tradition. You know.
Facts. Yeah, I mean, for me, the one thing I'll say to the fans that say, "Oh, we can focus on top four," what a load of hoo-ha! Like everyone has the FA Cup and everyone has the Premier League. The way I see it, FA Cup you play when the league's not on anyway. You play one or the other. You know, like you don't play both in the same week. So it's a load of bull crap. Like you're just literally trying to pretend that you're not angry when I was furious. I was actually devastated on the fact that we didn't at least give it a go. If we'd have deserved to win, then yeah, okay, fair enough. But it's the fact that we were outplayed and Forest looked like the Premier League team. But it is what it is. We bloody move. Just before we move on from this game, I'll answer to Dean. Big up to yourself, mate. Happy New Year. Hope things are well with you and your family. What happens to Arteta if Arsenal don't get top four after crushing out the FA Cup? For me, I think if he gets sixth or above that, I think he stays. Miller, I'll go to you being the other Arsenal fan on the panel, mate.
I don't see anything other than what you've just said there. I don't think that they'll cut the noose yet. Do you know what I mean? I feel like he's there for the long run. I don't agree with it. Don't get me wrong. I think we need to be more ruthless in this aspect as a club, but he ain't going nowhere. You know, I think this is his season as well, and I don't think there's any excuses not to. You know, we're in a favourable position in the league. He spent 150 million on his players. Let's not forget that. So we're never going to get a better chance. I'd like to see him do it. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know anymore.
And my question as well would be who comes in, because the likes of Ten Hag is just delusional. So, you know, we'll see what happens. Big week ahead, and we're going to touch on certain games in a little bit. I just want to quickly touch on, while we're touching on FA Cup, obviously this Cambridge, very close to us, some of us, of course. Newcastle, the oil club. You know what? I'm not going to give them too much stick, but I think they got away with this one, because if we'd have not lost, this is massive the way I see it. Like, it's a League Two club. Trippier's, we're going to talk on transfers in a little bit, but Trippier's debut, and he gets a real wake up call to what he's setting himself up for. You know, League Two Cambridge side. I've been to their ground. I mean, actually, I'm being quite nice there to Newcastle, because it was actually at St James's Park. So let's take that into account as well. What a day for him. Chris, just quickly, your thoughts on this one, mate. Do you think FA Cup is perhaps something that the new ownership would be disappointed they now can't go on and succeed in now?
I think when you get a new owner in, like Newcastle have done, it takes some time to embed in. I don't think Newcastle realistically should have gone for the FA Cup. I think it goes back to the old point in regards to the higher teams up the league should be focusing on European football, the title, that sort of thing. I think for Newcastle, actually, you know, some people would say it's good that they literally just solely focus on the league. So again, it just goes back to that weird point of modern day football, how you look at it. So you know, I'm probably contradicting myself here, to be honest. But it is just, I think Newcastle just got a lot of work to do. Like, I think we'll touch on the transfer soon because I've got Twitter open on my computer and they're about to there's rumours of another signing for Newcastle in the coming days, which they're finally going to sort their striker problem out. So it's a work in progress, Newcastle. I think mission 1, survive effectively, and mission 2 then will be probably one of the biggest transfer windows we're going to see this summer. They're not going to buy, they're not going to buy superstars, but they're going to spend a lot of money and reshape their team.
They need to act faster, don't they, boys? Let's be real. Are you surprised to see them acting not as quickly as they are in January?
I mean, what day are we in? We're day 11. I could say that for many teams, though, to be honest. I could say that for Tottenham. I could say that for Arsenal. I could say that for Chelsea. I think Liverpool's probably the only club which hasn't got many problems in their squad. I think they've got, problems there, but not as many as others. But yeah, I think a lot of clubs need to get the ball rolling, not just Newcastle. Newcastle, maybe because they're in a relegation battle. But
players aren't going to join Newcastle if they could be there for six months. They're not going to uproot and move across to England or move around England if there's a chance that Newcastle could be relegated in 6 months' time.
Let's go straight into it, to be fair, because I mean, I think Cambridge Newcastle was a shock to everyone, but I think this may be, and this may again be, and I'll say this back to the Arsenal game just before we jump ship. I hope that was a message from Arteta saying, look, board, do something. And if it was, he did a very good job of it, because I was quite convinced that we needed players signed. But let's start with Newcastle, Chris. I'll actually stay on you. They've brought Trippier in, obviously a player of experience, and yes, a good start. Like to me, it's a statement made. It's a statement made that they can bring these players in. I mean, he was linked to United in the summer, and now he's on relegation with. Hey.
This picture cracks me up.
Oh yeah. By the way, if anyone wants to let Trippier know where the badge is, that'd be amazing.
He's
I hope you can find a man better than he can find his badge.
I've cut
he's obviously pointing.
But no, if anyone could actually
kayak.
But what do we make of this, Chris? And going forward, obviously you touched on they're going to feel the striker. How much business do you think really needs to be done? This is a good start, isn't it?
Oh, Tripp is a fantastic start. He's just come off the back of a fantastic season last year, winning the La Liga with Atletico Madrid. It was well documented anyway that Simeone didn't want to see him go, but respected Kieran's decision to move back to England. I think it's a good coup for Newcastle. They've just, according to Twitter sources and Sky Sports and stuff, just agreed a deal for Chris Wood to fill the striker position. So, Chris,
I don't know how I feel about that for him.
What's that? Yeah. Can you imagine being a Newcastle fan? Breaking news. Oh.
Chris Wood. Joel Linton and Chris Wood. Fucking hell.
I mean, if anything speaks shit volumes, is that, isn't it? Like, weren't they linked to Belotti yesterday or something ridiculous? And they just come
there was link with Belotti, I think, a little bit because Belotti's basically made it clear he wants to leave Torino, but he's getting big money offers from Toronto, so Belotti's kind of following the money a little bit. So, but no, I think
what is it with Toronto? What is it with Toronto? I don't want to get onto this too much, but they've signed Insigne, now Belotti. Bloody hell! I don't know, but carry on, mate. Sorry.
Oh no, I think these are the sort of moves that Newcastle are going to do. It goes back to my earlier point. Is there's so much uncertainty with Newcastle. I think the big money moves and that QPR style window. You remember when they signed like Fabio and Bosingwa and
Rio Ferdinand.
Yeah, and then who was the other one? Oh, Granero as well. Granero. They went absolute shopping spree. Chris Samba, 100k a week. That's the sort of thing.
Classic Harry Redknapp.
Yeah, that's the thing Newcastle needs to stay clear of. But I think we'll see the big window in the summer. This is very much just getting reinforcements in of where they can to survive. And once that Premier League survival is sorted, then you'll probably see the shopping window that everyone expects.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the big question is what happens if they don't survive? Like, where do they go from there? And to be honest, if Chris Wood is the sort of business Saudi are doing, keep Arsenal the hell away from Saudi Arabia, because I don't want Chris Wood anywhere near my team. Don't get me wrong; he's a pain in the ass to play against. But if that's progression, I don't know. Make of it what you will. But Sam, I want to touch on you with that question. If Newcastle failed to survive in this league, and it's a very high high chance. For me, I want Watford too. Just putting it out there. Nigeria, Dennis not in the team. Shambolic decision from what I don't know. I don't know too much about it, but I hope the three that go down are Watford, Norwich, and I'm going to say Burnley because we all hate Burnley. But yeah, going back to Newcastle, what do you think happens if they don't stay up and they invest in these players and start making these continue to make this sort of business?
Well, if they do go down, which personally think it's going to be unlikely, but let's just say sod's law they do. Okay, they're still going to make the investments. They're still, let's be real, probably looking at it on paper now, that team struggles in the Championship, in my opinion. I don't think we've seen anything this season, apart from, a couple of spells with the United game and stuff like that. Yeah, they can control a game, but they've got nothing about them.
I like that you squeezed that in.
Yeah, well, you've got to, but they'll invest no matter whatever happens. I feel like I don't want to say they're too big to go down because, no one's too big to go down. We've nearly been down last year, didn't we? But again, I just don't know. I don't know what's going to happen there. I feel like they're going to be all right.
Yeah. Lee, going to you, mate. Do you feel like Newcastle can do enough in this short period of the window to sort of succeed and keep themselves up? Obviously, we're 11 days in. Trippier's a good start. Chris Wood, I'm not going to talk too much about that because the proof's in the pudding with him.
How much? Just a quick one. Did they say how much it was for, Chris?
Go to Lee and I'll come back to me.
All right.
Yeah, sorry, Lee.
Lee's having a mare.
Literally, just as I asked him a question as well. I don't know.
20 million, boys.
20 million.
Excuse me.
Right.
Oh, Lee is
Really?
there. He is. 20 million. You are bantering me. Go on, Lee. Sorry. No, you're bantering.
I'm quite surprised.
He's bantering.
I'm quite surprised they're going for him because I wouldn't associate Chris Wood with the type of football Eddie Howe wants to play. So it's kind of like an emergency signing again. I'm surprised. I'm not surprised it's a high price because he starts every week for Burnley. Really.
Burnley done well there.
He's quite key to Burnley, how Burnley play and what he offers them. So it could be good. I don't know. Trippier is obviously a good signing for them. Great signing. Terrible decision from him to join them, apart from maybe his bank balance. But
yeah. Money talks.
Why he would want to go there when he's challenging for the League of Honours, playing in the Champions League, and he's in the England squad to go to bottom of the Premier League, probably ruin his England chances now. Don't know. Baffling decision.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it's going to go down to the wire. The problem with Newcastle is they can't fucking win a game.
Yeah.
How
many games they won this year? 1 or 2, something like that.
I think they
can't even get a cup run.
I'm pretty sure they're the lowest scoring team in the league. I'm pretty confident they're the lowest scoring team in the league, even below Norwich.
What they got? What, Jacob Murphy up top the weekend, was it? It's shocking.
Yeah, Joe Linton come out and didn't do F-all. So, it is
centre mid now, isn't he?
Yeah, so I do not get that site like him. I'm sorry.
Sorry, boys. I'm trying to look up Chris Wood because I genuinely do not believe that anyone in their right stupid mind would pay 20 million for Chris Wood. But it
just stinks.
Oh my god, it is Fabrizio Romano. Oh, okay, fair enough.
We didn't doubt you,
Chris, I did doubt you. I just genuinely didn't think anyone was that absolutely crazy. But we moved. Fair enough. Let's move on to Villa. Obviously, a big statement made by Stevie. Quite unfortunate last night. Was it last night? It was last night, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was last night.
Loved him giving it to the Stretford end, though.
Yeah, and the way I see it, right, they did deserve to lose that game. And I know they play each other at the weekend again, so I'm hoping some sort of faith is restored and karma, really, because United did not put up a show, in my opinion. You've got bloody Mick Twat scoring for him and saving their bacon. At least it wasn't Ronaldo, I suppose. But let's you firstly. Obviously, being the Liverpool fan, we've got Coutinho, Ings, and Steven Gerrard all in the same team. What was your thoughts on signing?
But to be honest, I think if you're a Villa fan, you've got to be happy with what they're doing. Even the way they're playing, it looks like they're building. They're being fluid. They're building there, and it's give it a season or two. It's going to start to see results. Coutinho, if he turns out to be, I don't know, 75% of the player he was at Liverpool, they've got a good signing. It's just whether Gerrard can get that out of him. I think with it being World Cup year, surely he's going to have something inside him that he wants to start whacking in 30-yard bangers again. You know, he's going to want to get.
Good comment on the World Cup, actually. I forgot about that.
He's good. I mean, that's probably the reason he's moved there in the first place, is because he needs regular football to get himself in that squad. So he's going to need to put in the performances, because if he's not putting them in, Gerrard surely will just drop him.
Facts. Chris, going to you, mate, since you're below me, what was your take on this from Gerrard? And I mean, my first thought was Buendia, where were you at? But we spoke on transfers in the summer, and he was one of them that they spent all this money on, and Villa fans were saying, oh, we've got Buendia, like as if Arsenal had missed out on something. Well, he's already a benchmark, isn't he? But give me your thoughts, mate.
I think Coutinho is a great signing. You know, the name Coutinho, what he's built at, what he built at Liverpool, and what he's built at, I know he's only been a bit part player at Barcelona, but he's still, coming with a lot of trophies, and he was still involved in Bayern Munich's Champions League triumph the other year. So, it's very much a statement. But I think building what Lee was saying, it depends what Coutinho Villa are getting. He's not the player that he was at Liverpool, but it'd be interesting to see how Gerrard uses him. Gerrard utilises him. They've got their friendship, they've got that professional bond. So I think actually, you'd hope that Gerrard is the one to get that ability out of Coutinho, and hopefully he can do good things. It's on the flip side, on the other side of the fence, really, it just kind of lends itself to this precarious situation Barcelona as well, in the sense of Barcelona had to shift Coutinho out of the club to be able to register Ferran Torres. So, I think over the next, this window and the summer, I think we're going to see a lot of movement of players like, on these sort of deals from Barcelona to try and shift away. Like Ousmane Dembele is another one that keeps getting linked to the Premier League, and I think
he's linked to United. I saw now. I think
yeah.
That's the latest.
There's United, and of course Newcastle get linked with him as well because of the wages and everything like that. So,
he gets linked every window now. It's bloody boring. That Dembele. Sick of hearing his name every window. Coutinho's been linked every window for the last couple of years.
The way I see it,
at least he's actually gone now.
Someone asked me on the space the other day, would I have Dembele? And I'm pretty sure I said, if you take Pepe out of my team and then give me Dembele, it's like giving me butter and taking away my bread. Because I just feel like Pepe has certain things. And
I just love his analysis.
No, but generally, I think Pepe has certain things that Dembele doesn't. And I think Dembele has certain things that Pepe doesn't. So, and Dembele's injury prone. That's another reason why I wouldn't have him. Like, I feel like he has more injuries in game time. And I'll say that for a lot of players.
I'd say he's got an attitude problem from what it sounds like.
Yeah, and I always see bad things said about him in the media. Like, I've never seen positive things. Oh, Dembele's done this. I just feel like Arsenal have had enough attitude problems. Like, we've shifted half our players because they're falling out with the manager. I'm not going to bring another player to do it all over again. But Sam, I'll go to you, mate, on Villa before we sort of move on, because I do want to touch on Arsenal. Based on certain rumours, shall we say? Nothing's done, pen's not to paper. But what's your take on Villa with this move? Do you think now Stevie can do something with this team? Obviously, Dean Smith started the season, didn't work out for him with the money spent. Grealish, we haven't seen work out the other side, but what's your take on this signing from Coutinho? Do you think he can come back to his? I'm not going to say best, because that's impossible. I think no one should expect the best out of Coutinho, because that was just when his time at Liverpool. I don't think it'll be matched. But do you think he can sort of rise again and change this team around?
Yeah, 100%. There's definitely a player there. As long as, like Lee touched on earlier, if they get a percentage of half the player of what he was like there, which then they're in with a shout. I like Villa. I like what they're doing. I like the way they play football. I think they're a very progressive attacking side. I do. They're not afraid of anyone. They remind you of the old Leicester or something like that. They'd come at you. I think they're exciting to watch. I think Gerrard will get a tune out of him as well. Ex-teammates or something like that, wouldn't they? So I think
they signed Digne as well, didn't they?
I don't know if that's
is that confirmed though. I don't. I've seen links. I've seen big links, but I also saw him linked to Chelsea like a week ago. So I didn't want to touch on it too much. But I mean,
I think it's rumored.
That'd still be an upgrade from that target, wouldn't it? So
because Everton have bought someone, haven't they, to replace him?
Is Young still there? Young's still there, isn't he? Young is still there, I think.
Yeah.
What,
Yeah,
Villa?
Young and Target. Yeah, I think Young and
Yeah.
Target is always going to be an upgrade. He knows he walked straight into the team. And if Everton have already spent 20 mil or whatever it was on a fullback, then the inevitable is going to happen. But it'll be interesting to see where he goes. You don't know what can happen with these things. Like last minute, you can all of a sudden change things around. But let's move on. I want to talk about well, we've been discussing him in the group chat, and Arsenal. We've spoke about how we need a centre midfielder, we need a striker. All I've seen all week is all these links. Nothing put to paper yet. Not even a deal put down on the table. But Sam, let's stick with you, mate, being the gooner. Lacazette on his way out. Aubameyang, I don't want to address that elephant in the room, but you know what's going on there. He's going to disappear. More than likely, I think we won't see him again after AFCON. What's your take on Vlahovic, mate, and the rumours around the money? Like, there was rumours of 180 to 200k, which I can kind of reason within. You know, I can kind of look at and think, okay, fair enough. And then there's rumours of 300k and stuff like that. But do you think? Well, firstly, have you seen much of him? And secondly, do you think like we can afford to make that sort of put that money into one position?
I've seen a bit about him. You know, I think a couple of weeks ago there seemed to be a bit of hype around him, so I started to do the old YouTube montages and have a look at him. And yeah, you know, always see his best bits. So he looks like a Giroud 2.0, you know. But pending, let's see. Yeah, you know, that's gonna happen, isn't it? But I feel like
Giroud 2.0.
No, I feel like he's
Shamak.
You know, this just happens, isn't it, to us? It's just written, you know. But I think he'd be a fantastic addition if we're serious about it and go put the money down. Let's have him, you know. I know this Champions League football is a bit of a sticking point for him. What's to say we don't qualify for it? Then okay, fair enough. But with him in the side, we've got a better chance of doing it. So, I mean, it's going to be a big month for Arsenal. You know, like you just touched on. You know, your Laka, your Uber, and Nketiah, and all that lot. I mean, there's a lot of deadwood there, but I'd like to see Vlahovic come, definitely.
Yeah, good point. I mean, for me, the only thing I don't want to see, and I've said this time and time again, I don't know what's going on with Lee's camera tonight.
It's fine. It is what it is.
It's my mic and my camera.
He's having a mess. The only thing I don't want to see with this player, right? I don't want to see what happened this summer. And I've said this time and time again. We spent 50 million on a centre half, and we didn't focus on our other areas. I don't want to see that sort of stuff happening because we can't afford it now. We're in a top 4 race. We're out of the FA Cup. No more money's coming in. Well, unless we make top 4, we need to push for top 4. And for me, the only way we're doing that is if we if we fill all the gaps, if we paper over every crack possible. And if we spend 80 million on this fella or 60 million in Torreira, whatever it is, I want to see money spent likewise elsewhere. You know, we've got to follow suit in all areas of the field. But Chris, I want to go to you, mate, because obviously I think you know a little bit about this player more than we do as you follow Serie A. But talk to me, mate, about him. Do you think the juice is worth the squeeze?
Oh, absolutely. Like I'm actually in love with the player, to be honest. I probably would get an Arsenal shirt with Vlahovic on the back if he signed. Because basically he's you know the hot property of it in Italy at the moment. He's the one that everyone's talking about. You know, his financial demands, as you touched on, Den, have outpriced every Serie A team. You know, Juventus dream about signing him, but they just can't afford him. Milan, again, you know, they're looking for someone to replace Ibrahimovic. Not going to be able to afford him. So, you know, for Vlahovic now, it's looking like it, you know, with these the sort of the fees that Fiorentina demands, you know, they want 70, 75, 80 million euros. So I think, you know, very much it's a case of it's pricing at the Premier League, and also with another striker available in the summer, a certain Erling Haaland, you know, that's going to have the attention of a few other teams. So I think, you know, whether it's this January or whether it's going to be in the summer, I think Arsenal could sneak under the radar and get this done. But as you touched on, you know, it is dependent on the Champions League. You know, I think you have to look at what Vlahovic has done in the sort of the league season. You know, I think you talked about, you know, investing elsewhere in the squad and stuff. You got to see, you know, Vlahovic has scored 16 goals this year or in total already. He's absolutely insane. He's his idol's Ibrahimovic. He has a sort of playing style very similar to Ibra, where he's a powerful forward, mobile up front, makes space, and a really, really good finisher. But, you know, he's playing in a team here with the likes of I'm going to say some old names here, which you guys may have heard of, but you got the likes of Ricardo Saponara, Bonaventura, Alfred Duncan, Luca Torreira, on loan as well.
I know one.
So yeah, you know Torreira. So this isn't a Fiorentina team full of household names. Like, you're not signing an £80 million player from a big team of household names already, like a Bayern Munich or a Dortmund that's already. You're buying a big player here that's performing in a very, very high performing team at the moment. Like, he is carrying Fiorentina because they're up in the top 6-7 of Serie A at the moment, and he, you can almost attribute that be single-handedly him dragging it. So you put him in a team like Arsenal that begin to flow a bit more with the likes of Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard, kind of around him. I think it could be a good move, but I think the big issue is his ego, in the sense of not a negative ego in the way his playing style. It's that, is he believing his hype a bit too much with the pricing around it? He wants to get that Champions League football, but I think there's that point where you need to kind of find that balance of clubs that will come in and outlay that money. You look at the Premier League, Man United probably won't. Man United, if they don't make top 4, they're not. He's not going to be an inch of interest to them. Spurs, they've got Harry Kane. Man City, they're going to probably be chasing Haaland by the sounds of it. The only one
I can think of is Liverpool, because I'm not going to say Firmino's a bad player, but I feel like Firmino is more of a player that links up the play, so they might look for a forward in goals, like maybe. I don't know.
I just don't think. I don't think Vlahovic is the style for Klopp, and Lee, you can correct me on that one.
We got Jota. We don't need it.
Don't need Vlahovic because you've got Jota.
No, to be fair, I love Jota. But is that the plan then? Do you think? Because I know at the moment he's more of a player out wide on the left. But do you think he's brought in for a potential? I'm not going to say. Well, yeah, actually, considering the fact that you're going to replace, I imagine, Mane sooner rather than later. Obviously, you've been linked to Diaz, you've been linked to Rafinha. So do you think that is the plan for Liverpool? Just going on to this actually works perfectly, because I was going to go on to Liverpool next. But do you think that is the plan, to sort of put Jota into that striker role?
Well, that's what he's been playing all season, so I assume so.
He's done well as well. I mean, he
hasn't played on the left. He's been playing up top. He's the second highest scorer in the league. He was playing up top last season.
Klopp does like that. Klopp likes that false nine sort of style.
I'm going to sound horrible.
So,
I'm going to sound horrible here, but do you think he is do you think he is enough for the style of play? Like, I know you're saying we don't need Vlahovic, we've got Jota, and don't get me wrong, I love Jota. I think he's phenomenal. He's one of my favourite players in a Liverpool shirt. But do you think it is a perhaps position where you might look at, we need to bring someone in? Because obviously you've had injuries and COVID and stuff recently. Firmino's been out. I think he's back now. He came on at the weekend, if I'm right, against Shrewsbury. And sort of,
I think if they're going to bring any attacker in, it's going to be for one of the wider positions rather than centre forward.
Okay, yeah. So and you need to. You're still looking at.
I don't think Liverpool will. The only one I've seen him linked to is Jared Bowen, but even that would be an attempt in the summer.
Yeah, Diaz is the one I've seen. Porto's Diaz has been massively linked to Liverpool.
I forgot about him. Diaz as well.
He's a good player. Great player.
He plays on Mane's side, so he does look good.
Do you think that's a sign? Do you think that's a sign there that Mane's on his way out? Obviously, I know he scored yesterday in the.
I think it's competition for him rather than on the way out. And obviously, there's promising youngsters coming through as well, as we saw at the weekend. So.
And there's rumours of Origi finally, not finally leaving, but Origi being moving on as well, isn't there, at the moment?
Yeah, I mean that's been years in the coming. Really, he's never going to make the full grade. I know he's a cult hero for coming off the bench and getting dramatic goals, but he's never going to be good enough to make an impact on the starting 11. But obviously, there's promising youngsters in there, which seems to be the way. Got Curtis Jones has obviously been coming through the last couple of years. He's more of a midfielder. Harvey Elliott, Cade Gordon. There's a couple.
A quiet window for you, you think then?
I'll be very surprised if we sign anyone. We very rarely do.
Have you not seen the link though? You've seen who you've linked to, haven't you?
Well, the Porto geezer.
The Jules Koundé, 75 million.
Oh no,
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, that was.
Isn't he a defender?
Yeah.
Why would you? Nah, that's got to be horse. You've just got you've just signed Konate. You've got Van Dijk, Matip. You've still got Nat Phillips sitting in your books, haven't you?
Yeah, we're trying to get rid of him. We're just rejecting the bid.
Yeah, like Nat Phillips. You've I get you're in the Champions League and you need depth, but why spend 75 million on
Yeah,
depth?
I agree.
No way,
Yeah,
no
I
way.
wouldn't have thought- I wouldn't have thought that.
But yeah, I think
if anyone, we need a centre mid. If anything,
I want
we're
to
lacking.
agreed. You still need to replace Wijnaldum, and to be honest, with the injuries, Thiago keeps popping up, and
Just bring one out.
actually.
Just bring Wijnaldum back. He wants out of PSG.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'm going to touch quickly on this because I know he's linked to Arsenal heavily. Sam, just very quickly because I want to touch on this weekend's games. Obviously, massive games coming up. Wijnaldum on loan. What do you make of that as a short-term fix for Arsenal? I'm laughing just talking about it, but I don't even know why.
I think, don't get me wrong, I think it's a no-brainer. I think he automatically walks into that midfield, which is the worrying part of it.
I think we do, mate. I'm tempted to take my boots to Anfield.
Very underrated. I think he's a very underrated player. I wouldn't knock him.
No, we're not knocking him. No, I'm not knocking him. I think he's.
I think it just shows how bad the situation is at Arsenal at the moment.
Yeah.
Because I think you could put any three of the players out on loan: Maitland-Niles, Torreira, Guendouzi.
You're forgetting though. But you're forgetting about the second coming of Cesc Fabregas and Charlie Coutinho. You know, he's supposed to save us.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I don't want to curse on live stream, but yeah, you know what? To Coutinho, anyone that's cursing him, look, there's bigger fish to fry with that team on Sunday. Every single one of them was a criminal on that pitch, and Coutinho's one of the very last players that I'm calling out. But yeah, we move on. If we get Wijnaldum, I'll be happy. I don't want to touch on Tottenham's window too much because we're going to talk about the London derby, and I think bits and bobs will come into it. But yeah, let's talk about this weekend. Sam, we got tomorrow night as well. No, Thursday night as well, which I think us boys sort of touched on last week, didn't we? Because it was postponed and then we didn't know if it was happening. So Sam, I want to go to you because I'll get your thoughts on the whole week as an overall. But big week coming up. Spurs away, and then we've obviously got Liverpool away just before that, which me and Lee are going to. Let's hope it's not a bad trip home for me. Anyway, I might have to get an Uber or something, but we move. Talk to me, mate. How are you feeling about the games that we got ahead?
I mean, you know, the Liverpool game is the one where my attention is most on. Let's be honest. I feel like, you know, this could be a really depressing week for our Schooners. We could be out 2 cups. Odds on in our favour as well, you know, against them. I feel like the only saving grace is if he does not take it seriously, because he has a habit of not, potentially. That might be a little bit.
I tell you what, I've just been on this guy here he is. I've just been on a show with him very briefly before, and he said, like, do you think Arteta will go strong? And I thought, well, to be honest, he's got no choice at the moment. We're that short of depth. You play the same 11.
I think you're favourites, to be honest.
Do you?
Nah. I mean, you've got everyone, but you've got everyone back now.
Well, you've got Fab back. You just haven't got Thiago, haven't you?
Trent's missing. Salah's missing.
Oh yeah, actually,
Mane's
good
missing.
point. Trent is missing. Actually, I mean,
Trent's a massive miss for us. He's got one of our biggest attacking outputs. I mean,
apparently, Klopp doesn't
compared
take
to
it
having
seriously.
Neco Williams or Connor Bradley there, it's hardly fucking.
Yeah, but this happens all the time. It's the same with Spurs. They say like these games like a couple of days beforehand, oh fucking Mane's out or fucking Harry Kane's out. They're all fucking there.
Listen, with the Liverpool game, it's going to have a massive effect on Sunday. 100%. I completely agree with that. I think for me, it's just worked out well for Liverpool, hasn't it? Because you've had all these players missing, and now all of a sudden they're all available because you postponed the game. Look,
I disagree. I think
it is what it is.
How has it worked out worse?
Because we take the league more seriously, and now we've got to travel to London a couple of days before we travel to Palace again.
Oh,
so it's made it worse for our fixtures.
I'm sure you'll be all right, but I don't want to rattle each other. It's too funny. But Miller, let's actually more talk about North London derby. The good news is Son is out. I don't wish injuries on anyone, by the way. For anyone listening or watching, I don't ever wish injuries on a player. But if I didn't want anyone playing, it's Heung-min Son. It's got to be. We were together, boys. Actually, us three. I think it was 2 years ago, and he scored that absolutely ridiculous goal. I think he took it round Rob Holding, made him eat his grass for lunch, and then hit it top bin from about.
And Holding's still there as well. That's the fucking criminal thing about it.
I've got to stay professional and stuff here, but yeah, luckily Gabriel is back for Sunday, so we haven't got to worry about mistakes like that. Son won't be there. Do you think the game could be? Obviously, we got a massive great result against them earlier on in the season. How are you feeling about this one going to their ground? Do you think revenge is going to be on the cards?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like we've got to be up for it. You know, it's the one game that, you know, we all feel like we want to do them. I mean, I live with a Spurs fan, so this is going to be a very interesting week for me.
Good luck, mate.
And obviously, I've got COVID at the moment, so, you know, if he gives me any jip, I might have to, in the old cups or something like that. So it's nice to see. But you know what's nice to see as well is that it's been very quiet on the Spurs front. They haven't actually said much to us, really. They haven't got much.
I don't know about you.
About.
I've been getting hell. I don't know about you.
Maybe
I've been getting hell.
Maybe I'm in the bunker, but no, I feel like we're going to do them. I don't think we need to be worried about them full strength or not. We're in a good place at the moment.
They just fucked their own semi-final, didn't they?
Yeah,
terrible against Chelsea.
I mean,
they weren't very good at the weekend either. They struggled, I think.
What made me laugh? They were all giving us banter, yeah. They were all giving us banter, saying, you lost to Nottingham Forest." They had to bring on Harry Kane and Lucas Moura to beat Morecambe. So I'm not going to feel too bad, you know. Like, they literally brought on one of the best English strikers in fact, probably right now the best English striker in the league, because there isn't really anyone else to compare to him.
And one of the flukiest goals you'll ever see.
Not the top 5 leagues though, as I told you boys the other day.
No, yeah, not the top.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
Tammy's got that slot.
Yeah, but they had to bring him on to beat Morecambe. So I'm not going to take too much stick from Spurs, because if you need Harry Kane and Lucas Moura to beat Morecambe, who are 21st in League One, may I add, I've just got to put that in there. Then you know what, you're not going to win this trophy. I'm not too worried. But Chris, I'll come to you, mate. Just on Tottenham and sort of going back to the transfer talk. A lot of skeletons in the closet, because we've seen Ndombele, what happened at the weekend. I don't know if you boys saw it. There was a bit of a situation there when he was, I think it was walking into the tunnel, and they've got so many players in that midfield, which I'd look at and just think, look, what are you still doing here? Even putting rivalry aside, there's Harry Winks, there's Dele Alli, and okay, Conte's got them doing good, playing good football. He's improved them, but what do you think from Tottenham on a transfer perspective? Can you see a lot of departures this month, or do you think
absolutely?
Yeah,
absolutely. I think Antonio Conte doesn't take the Tottenham job if he doesn't have reassurances from the board that he'll be able to make his own decisions and bring in players that offer what he wants. I think from Conte's perspective, and this is where he differs from a lot of clubs, is a lot of clubs like Arsenal, for example, will have rumours about players they'll go for. I think with Tottenham there is that almost like Conte will shop, and he'll shop. Like, he's already made it clear that Ndombele's gone. Like, I think his press conference today, he's basically said, I'll be basically paraphrasing, I'll be surprised if he plays again or something like that along those lines. So Ndombele, that's him out. Steven Bergwijn has now been linked with Ajax. It looks like he's going to go back to Holland.
Don't get that, by the way. I really don't understand that. I think for me, he's still got some sort of promise there. He's had an injury this season. I think he's one at even Ndombele. I get there's an attitude problem with Ndombele, but those two were the last pieces of the puzzle for me. Just based on ability, anyway.
The problem is Conte's system. End of the day, Conte plays a wing back system. So strikers that can't adapt to a central role aren't going to feature that much. For example, Lucas Moura can play in that attacking midfielder role. Son can play an attacking midfielder role. I think if Bergwijn's been asked to adapt and isn't adapting, or isn't putting the training in training, you don't know what goes on behind the closed doors. Then Conte is going to be given that backing to make those ruthless decisions. End of the day, was it Ndombele cost 60 million when they bought him? And he's going to. Yeah, he's going to be sold for probably like a bag of Monster Munch and half a Kit Kat.
well.
Conte said in his press conferences already a couple of times how the quality Tottenham lack.
He's quite honest with it, though, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I think he done it last week when they lost to Chelsea. He's pretty much just saying their shit.
Have you seen that? He did an iconic interview when he was at Chelsea, when he basically said, if a player doesn't run for me, I kill them.
Yeah.
I mean,
and that's what you get with Conte. Because I was talking to a colleague about this, who's a Spurs fan, and the thing with Conte is he's not going to go out and do a Pep. He's not going to spend 40, 50, 60 million on one player, and then 40 million on another player, and then 50 on another £1 million player. He's going to bring in players that you never thought would ever put on a Tottenham shirt properly, and it'll work because they play for the system. For example, when you look, I've referenced this before, Inter Milan, he brought in Ashley Young and Victor Moses. And turn it into a winning system. He bought Arturo Vidal, who he's known for so long, who probably doesn't have the legs anymore of what Vidal was doing at Barcelona and also Juve. But they're winners. They're in the system. They're, they do the job. Like Conte is all about systematic play. If a player comes in and plays in that position, does the job, then they get that position. So, I'm not expecting Tottenham to go out and spend 40, 50 million on one player. I'm expecting to buy a £5 million player here, maybe a freebie here, a £7 million player here, a £12 million player here. But I think Conte will spend in the January, and I think getting that midfield engine going is crucial for Spurs.
Yeah, good comment, Lee. I think you were going to say something, mate, or you're good.
No, I'm good.
All right. Yeah, I mean, in terms of the game, I don't know. I don't know who we're going to even play. I'd like to see. Sorry, I'd put Wijnaldum in there. I'd fly to Roma and get bloody Maitland-Niles in there right now at the moment. It all depends on if Xhaka's back, great. Look, we can argue about what Xhaka did until the cows come home. I don't really care if he swore at fans. I feel like at the moment he's proven himself enough. I've forgiven him. I've got over it. You need to do that in football. Bit similar to what we were touching on last week with the Lukaku situation. You just get over it. But if Xhaka's not there, it could be a very, very long night for Arsenal. It could be a long afternoon because regardless of what's going on at Tottenham, Sambi, I just don't think he's up for being a leader.
To be fair to Sambi, you've got to give some credit. Right? He had a bad game against Forest, but earlier this season he was having some really good games.
No, yeah,
I
think he does need a player next to him, and I feel like if Xhaka,
how many bad games has Xhaka had?
Exactly, it's true. And didn't Sambi play in the reverse fixture of this?
He's young, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? They're going to be inconsistent.
Yeah, exactly.
He's 22 years old. He's 22, and this is his first big club, and his first season at the big club. I don't think when you first signed Sambi, I wasn't expecting him to be a starter. I wasn't expecting to play as many games.
No one was.
No.
Obviously, the Xhaka,
he's going to have some bad games. He's going to have some good ones.
Xhaka injury and Tierney injury really didn't worked in the signing's favours because the same can be said for Tavares. Tavares and Sambi were both never meant to be regular starters. Tierney got injured, Xhaka got injured. We were left with no other choice, and luckily they adapted quickly. But for me, I just think he needs someone next to him. If Smith Rowe's back, happy days. We can put Odegaard into an 8, and we move. But if he's not, God forbid. And literally, we play like 3 days earlier, so I'm assuming we're going to give
Kolasinac centre mid.
Yeah, fucking Kolasinac and Eddie Nketiah pending.
I think it's got to be one of the worst shouts I've ever heard from an Arsenal, like just in terms of an Arsenal formation. If I ever see that Serbian dickhead, bloody absolutely if he sat anywhere near our spine, you got to remember, midfield's your bread and butter. You don't put lunatics like him in there. Can you imagine Kolasinac?
Surprised there ain't been a shout for someone to say Ben White go in there. like the old-fashioned days. If you had a ball playing centre off, you just whack him in DM.
Just, mate, you never know what's going to happen.
It is like with our fan base. It is like, he'll do. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, Spurs have still got some games in hand on us as well, so we do need to pick up the points here because if they get a win, that's just that
United chasing us as well.
This is one of your biggest games of the season, so I think.
Probably, yeah. I think it is. I think it is.
In terms of not just the fact that you're rivals, I think the competition for fourth, they've obviously, like you said, they've got the games in hand. You need to win this game. You need to beat.
If they win this as well. If they win this, they'll be confident going forward because I imagine their games in hand won't be long because they need to really I think January and February, some of them have already been announced, haven't they? I know Liverpool have got one. We're still waiting the Wolves game to be rescheduled, but I imagine Spurs will be playing them soon. If they win this, they're in a good position and they know that because they've got the 3 points over us. So go on, Chris.
They're out the Conference League anyway, so they've got plenty of time to make it up.
Yeah, good point. I'm not going to say too much about that considering last week, but I don't know. I think with Spurs, also tomorrow night, obviously, if they get knocked out of the cup, it's never nice playing a team after a defeat, especially a knockout defeat, because they want to respond. We'll see. Harry Kane is the answer for me. I think if we close down Harry Kane, we'll get a good result. Because he was abysmal in the first. Wasn't he? He was the one that Saka scored with, wasn't he? He fell on his arse, and I think Saka got back up and then scored after or something like that. But
he seems to be. I don't know. He seems to be manageable this season, Harry Kane.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and especially the thing is, especially with Son, because they had good partnerships, obviously in previous seasons. But Son seems to be the much better player this season. I honestly think if I was picking any player out of Spurs, it's Son. Like I can't wait till he leaves them so they get put right in the mud. But it is what it is. Let's get some predictions and then we'll go on to Chelsea and City. Sam, how are you seeing this one? I'm going to go to you first, mate. Sorry.
I can't ever not back the boys against the shite, so I'm going to say 2-0 Arsenal.
Good comment. Lee?
I'll go 2-2.
Fair. Christopher?
I'm going to go 2-2 as well. I did have 2 on my head. I didn't want to copy Lee, but yeah, 2-2.
On the fence.
What did you say? Sorry, Chris?
Oh, 2-2.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I've gone one. No, Sam's gone now. Yeah, I've gone 1-1. I think it'll probably be a Harry Kane penalty, typical Harry Kane against Arsenal. Harry Kane penalty, and then I can see us scoring from a set piece. Probably Gabriel. That would be quite nice, coming off of a suspension, but it is what it is. Shout out to G for tuning in.
Eric Dyer mistake is going to happen. I can see it now.
I hope so.
I'm going to go Kane brace because Kane does love the North London derby.
He loves it, and he needs to I think he needs to start getting the goals in again as well. God knows how many he's got this season. All I know is Smith Rowe scored more than him, but it is what it is. Right, we're going to City Chelsea because I mean, for me, I think it's over. I don't know if you lot agree with me, but this could be the real nail in the coffin. Lee, I've got to start with you because this probably affects you more than anyone. What's your thoughts in this game? Do you think Chelsea can get something out of it and maybe put? I'm not going to say pressure on.
You only have to look to last season. Chelsea kind of had a bit of a number on them. Champions League final, for example. I mean, City are massive favourites for the title. There's no denying that. But yeah, Chelsea are hard to beat. It just depends. It just depends how ruthless City, what kind of City are going to turn up, I suppose.
Who plays on their right wing when Mahrez is out?
Anyone?
Foden probably. Yeah.
Foden,
Jesus is
plays
playing
there quite a bit.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah,
What?
at the moment.
What?
They don't play
Jesus
with a striker, do they?
No.
Yeah, but
They play like
Jesus
Foden
is
or De
the
Bruyne in the
striker.
false nine. No, they play like Foden or De Bruyne.
Yeah, they don't actually play with the striker up top. It's fucking.
Oh.
It's hard to explain.
Interesting. No, I was just thinking because Mahrez has been an absolute force this season. Obviously, he won't be there. I watched the Algeria game today. Actually, yeah,
they could play
maybe.
any of them really. It doesn't. Whoever they play, it doesn't change how they play or how good they're going to be too much, does it?
Yeah, I agree. Alonso's on the left back as well, so he might have a bit of a tricky afternoon, especially if it's Sterling. But I don't know. I think with this one,
is Kepa in goal as well?
Yeah, Mendy's out. Yep.
Yeah. So, I think I kind of want Chelsea to get a result in this.
I'm pretty sure they're the only two absences. I had a look at the list of AFCON because I've been watching some of the games. I'm sure Mendy and Mahrez are the only two. Oh, Ziyech as well, but I don't think Ziyech is too much of a miss for Chelsea because it
doesn't play, does he?
Yeah, it's touch and go. I think he plays he comes on and off the bench here and there. But sorry, yeah, for me, before I go to you and Sam, Chris, I think for me the title race is done. I think this is more of a case of who pushes on and has some sort of saving grace.
Yeah,
I think
it could be done by Chelsea if we win.
Go on, Chris.
Fans will say that Ligue 1 is done because PSG always run away with it. They're about the same difference between PSG and Nice. It's 11 points. Man City and Liverpool. Man City and Liverpool's 10 points, or Man City and Chelsea. Who's second? Can't remember who's second.
Chelsea. I think
Chelsea,
Liverpool
Man
got the
City
game in hand though.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I think it's 8 points if we win the game in hand.
Yeah, so 8 points closes the gap, but I think I think it's done and dusted. To be honest, that's Man City needs to lose 3, and it's a 3-win swing. And
that's what I look at. I think Liverpool are more capable of slipping up than City. That's the way I see it.
City just going 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. It's what they'll do, and it's what they're good at.
It's the depth as well. Like it's the depth. Sorry, Chris, if you look at the depth of Liverpool, look at the crisis they've been in the last 2 weeks or whatever it is. They lose Salah
No,
and Mane.
I don't even think it's anything to do with how good or bad the other clubs are. I think it's just to do with how good City are. Get City out this league and put that Liverpool Chelsea teams in any other season, and they're probably going to win it.
Getting boring though, isn't it? Like, and the fact that they're potentially getting someone like Haaland in, I don't know what to make of this league anymore. But I'm disappointed it's over so soon. Go on, Chris, mate. Sorry.
No, I was going to ask Lee. Does John Henry have a brother that with a company that might want to invest in Liverpool?
I mean,
sorry, was that
them lot away from the club? If anything, they don't spend anything.
Was that a controversial swipe at Man City? Sorry, I apologise.
Yeah, it's just a bit. For me, I'm a bit gutted that it is this way. I think most football fans are. You never want to see it over too soon. The top 4 race is interesting now, and this could make it interesting if City get a win here, which I think they will. I don't think Mendy and Kepa too much would be a difference, but distribution, I think Mendy has.
I just think Kepa's got that mistake in him, isn't he? That's the whole reason.
Yeah.
When he has a good game, he's class. I think Kepa's class when he's having a good game. But yeah, for Mendy, I think the distribution is where they'll miss him a little bit. But yeah, like we say with City, both teams have been defensively brilliant this season, so it's going to be quite interesting. Lukaku's still got to respond from obviously the situation we spoke of last week. So I don't know what's going to happen there. And the fact that they play with I find that bizarre that they play with Jesus out wide and the false nine. I don't know. Maybe this is what it's come to. Maybe this is what we'll start doing next season. We'll just be.
We'll put Xhaka up top. That's what's going to happen.
God heavens forbid.
But then you made a good point about the rest of the league, though. I think actually when you look at 4th down to 10th, it's actually a really exciting league, in the sense of you've got, the race for 4 of Arsenal, West Ham, Tottenham, Man United. But if any of those teams slip up and start losing some games, then they could drop out the top 7 and you could see.
Can we put Chelsea in there, by the way? Can we put Chelsea in there? I think if Chelsea lose this, they're definitely in the top 4 race. Liverpool, I'll give an upper hand to, but.
No, I think the gap's too big now. Like even actually, if Arsenal won their game in hand, the gap closes to 5, but still, that's a 2 result swing.
We play them though. We play them in February. Bear in mind.
True.
Yeah, but if you're making that argument, and you need to say the same thing about the title race at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, 5 points. 5 points is doable. Our game in hand is Wolves, so you never know.
Wolves is a tough game though.
Yeah,
especially with our history.
That keeper they've got at the moment is just ridiculous. Like, I wouldn't think of anything worse between the goalposts if I was playing football. He just seems phenomenal in every aspect as well, not even just shot stopping. But we'll get a quick prediction. Lee has run off. I don't know what's going on with his Wi-Fi. Look, guys, if you can do us a favour, Lee is having trouble. Someone buy him some good Wi-Fi. He is in desperate need. Let's get a quick prediction and then we'll wrap up because I know we've got log
on to gofundme.com/sideline talk.
Yeah. We'll have a Patreon in a few weeks.
Chris, what's your score prediction for this one?
No one wants to see that, Sam. Let's go with, I'm going to go 2-0 City.
Fair. Kingman Kingham. I can't believe it. I genuinely can't believe it.
It's not even the internet.
I feel like he's winding me up.
Score prediction. I'm going for. I'm torn between.
I feel like you're winding me up.
2 scores.
You are winding me up, aren't you? Every time I ask you a question.
No.
I feel like you're doing it to wind me up. Every time I ask a question, you disappear.
I'm going to go for 0-0. No, the sound goes in and the camera goes. It's pissing me off. I'll go for 0-0 this game.
0-0. Okay. Oh, interesting. Mildog.
Oh, 1-0 City.
When you're out of isolation, by the way, do you get to watch this and not have to be at work, or are you back?
Are you sure you got a positive test? It weren't false, or?
Do you want me to show you?
Are you actually digging your own club? You're digging your own club now. Don't get us started. You're digging your own club. False positives. Only in Liverpool, mate. Only in Liverpool, sir.
Don't even go there, Lee. I preferred it when you weren't here.
I haven't got to worry when we go Liverpool on Thursday, Lee. They're all false. It's all false positives, like. I don't need to wear a mask. It's all false. No real test about. But we move anyway. Sorry, yeah. Go on, Miller. Your score prediction.
I can't remember what I was saying. Yeah, 1-0 City. I feel like they've just got enough to control the game. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 2-0. But guys, it's been a pleasure. We better wrap up because we got things to do, life to live. Well, Miller, you haven't at the moment, but we moved. We're going to be back next week to be discussing the North London derby, Man City, Chelsea, and all the Premier League results, and hopefully some transfer talk. Can Arsenal get a striker? Will we get a centre midfielder? You know what? It's too much to talk about. But boys, thank you for jumping on. Those of you that are tuned in, make sure you smash the like button and hit subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you soon. Enjoy the rest of your week. Cheers, boys.